I'll just get right into it. This video is about why I closed my business.
There are 4 kinds of business.
So hi, my name is Clarissa. I'm currently 25 years old, but in 2020, I started a bubble tea business called C Tea Shop, and it was an online e-commerce store where you could buy bubble tea kits to make bubble tea in the comfort of your own home. I started off with this business idea because I had just graduated college at the height of the pandemic. I have lost my internship, which was a fusion of like a tech role and also a marketing role. At the time, I really wanted to get into marketing. I wanted to do social media marketing. I knew that I was good at it, but I had an information technology degree and no minor in marketing, no real piece of paper that could say, hey, I studied anything about marketing. So I kept trying for quite a few months to either just land any type of job or some type of job in the marketing or technology industry, and I was getting really fed up with all the rejection letters. Of course, you know, everyone was going through the same thing at that time, but for me it was really frustrating because I knew that I had these skills, these social media marketing skills, that I could really bring serious value to a company if they would just take a chance on me, and I just couldn't prove that. So I thought, let me flip my 5-year plan upside down on its head. I'm gonna put my 5-year plan here for giggles so you guys can look at it and see what it was. I might even do a voiceover to show you what the 5-year plan is, because at this point it's kind of a funny plan to look at. I'm gonna show you what it was. So this was actually a project that I had to do my senior year of college. So first, my plan was to work in digital marketing. Obviously, we know that didn't work. And then I wanted to work on my UX portfolio because back then I wanted to be a UX designer and work in product design. That didn't work because no one would ever give me an internship, even though I had decent portfolio. So that was kind of a fail. I want to invest in real estate. That actually might end up being pretty soon. E-commerce store, we know that that happened first, so that was flipped all the way to the top. And a physical business, who knows when I'll do that? Hopefully soon. Overall, I decided I can't open a cafe right now. Like, everyone's in lockdown. I thought to myself, what kind of boba tea business can I do? At the time, I had an Instagram that was dedicated to just my bubble tea adventure. So I'd go out, I'd try a new bubble tea spot, and I'd either just post about it or sometimes post a review. I wasn't really a big reviewer. I was kind of just like, here I am, here's my bubble tea. So I dreamt up these business plans, did all of the legal research. What would this take? All of the startup costs, all of the supplies that it would have to take, what it would really take for me to make this business a reality, even on a really small scale. So I did all of that. All the numbers checked out. It was affordable for me to do. And I took X amount of my own money and I put it into this endeavor. I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. I was just like really going ham on building this website and doing everything on my own. I didn't even tell my parents until the day before launch day, and I was still living in their house. So I launched the business in July of 2020. To my surprise, 50% of my inventory that I had sold out. I was making all of these kits by hand, by myself, and on the first week of launch, 50% of it done, gone. And it was mostly due to word of mouth and just social media marketing. So because the first launch did so well, I was actually able to scale up for the next launch. So I was able to get custom boxes, more flavors. I was able to build your own kits, and that was something that I was excited to work on next because it felt like a level up almost every single launch. Eventually, I even did plushies. I found that I was making pretty decent money. Granted, I wasn't keeping it. I was always trying to think about what I was going to do next and putting money away for the taxes and all of that type of legal stuff as well. Just looking more ahead instead of kind of taking money out of the business and putting it into my pocket, because my main goal wasn't exactly to make money off of this. It was really to build something that I knew that I was capable of building, really. And this was something that I probably would have never been able to do if I was part of a corporate marketing team. I maybe would have never even actually managed the social media myself, but this was a project that I can show people now for years to come and say, I did this and I generated these sales and these numbers just off of my Instagram and some TikTok. Like, who else can say that? So I ran this business, and at a certain point I had a remote job. It was customer service, so it was very low maintenance and it paid okay. I was trying to pay off some debt that I had at the time, and that's why I was doing that. But right when I got off of my 8-hour shift, I was packaging these orders. I had orders almost every single day, and even if it was just one box, one kit that I was sending out, that was a huge win to me, because it's like, these were people I didn't even know in different states ordering this kit. I have no idea where they heard of me or where they found me. So to me, it was just like, it was surreal. And it was so motivating to just go and package this stuff for them and send it off. But after about July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So I did this for about 7 months, working sporadically part-time and then also doing the business. But after those 7 months, I got like an actual corporate tech job that really ate up a lot of my time because it was in person. So it was a lot harder for me to juggle both. Not only was I in person, but I was commuting into Philly. So like the mornings I had to get ready, commute into Philly, and it wasn't that far, but it was far enough. And then like the traffic on the way back, I'd get back home so late, so it would already be dark no matter what season it was by the time I got back. It was harder for me to create the content. I kind of stuck to doing it over the weekend so that I'd have daylight to film certain things. Obviously, as you'd expect, things got increasingly harder just because I didn't have the time that I used to, but at the same time, I was still getting a really decent amount of orders every week. It never slowed down. Towards the end, when I was thinking about closing the business, because I didn't have the time, because I didn't want to compromise the quality of my product and also the service that my customers were getting, I just decided that closing it might be the best thing, because it was either I compromised the quality of my business as a whole, or I really put my all into this corporate job that I have now and I put this business on hold. In the end, I decided the business did what it was supposed to do. It taught me how to build something up. It taught me how to build a business, all the legalities that go behind it. It served its purpose and a lot of people enjoyed it. In the end, I just decided to close it up and give my all to this corporate job that I had. I don't regret that at all, because if I would have started to give a sloppy product out to my customers, my business would have went down in not a great fashion. I even had someone reach out to me closer towards the end when I was trying to make this decision and ask me, do you think you can make X amount of custom kits for me for my bridal party? And unfortunately, I had to tell her no. It would have been such a great opportunity to have, and I already had some collaborations and some bulk orders before that really helped my business as well. But in the end, I just couldn't commit anymore to doing larger scale things. I couldn't keep pouring from a cup that was like almost empty. Another big component is that I was living on my own and I was responsible for paying all of my own bills and paying my rent. And the truth is that as well as the business was growing, it was growing in a really steady upward scale, I would say, but there was no way that it was enough for me to be able to support myself month after month. So that's another reason why I chose the corporate job over the businesses. I probably would have not been able to pay rent by the next month. So let me tell you what I learned from this. The biggest thing that I was grateful for starting this business was that it taught me that I was more than capable of doing something like this again. I did this at, I think, 22 years old, 23 years old, with no prior business experience. I always had the idea that I would be a business owner someday. I just didn't think it would be so soon. Even though it was so soon, I really didn't expect it to be as successful as it was. And even though I think I closed the business and kept like maybe $500 after all the closing costs and the taxes and stuff, it was still such a worthwhile endeavor for me. I know that down the line, if I ever want to start another business, whether it's a physical business or something in e-commerce like this was, I will have no reservations and I'll know how to do it. I'll probably be able to start it even faster this time around. I also proved to myself that I'm really great at marketing, and that's something that my resume would have never reflected to any future employer.
You want to start a business. How do you start? What do you need?
There's a very interesting thing that I heard on TikTok actually very recently. They said something to the effect of, if you want to make money right now, don't start a business. It was interesting for me to hear at first because I was like, what? Now in hindsight, in a lot of cases, I see how this is true. When you do your research about businesses and new small businesses that start up, it's common that they don't start to make a real profit until about 3 to 5 years. And the reason for that is exactly what my mindset was when I was growing the business. The money that comes in and the profit that you're generating should really always go back towards improving your product and improving your reach. And as you grow, the demand for your product usually grows, the demand for your services usually grows, so you have to grow your team. That's something I eventually probably would have had to do as well. It's all of the costs to really make sure that if you were to step away from your business, it's still gonna run and it's still gonna generate income, and it can stand on its own without you having to physically be there or you doing all of the work all the time. Obviously, this doesn't go for every single business ever, but it's widely known that this is true. Now, I'll say from this that a business is not the same thing as a side hustle. To me, a side hustle is having a product or service that's really cut and dry and being able to get it to the customer for either really fast, really cheap, or both. I think in that case, that's the optimal side hustle formula, so that you make sure that you get your profits really fast, but you also don't have to pour too much into it and you don't have to scale it very much. I think that's the biggest difference between a business and a side hustle. When I start another business eventually, which I know that I am, I would look into loans, grants, and mentorship above all. Those are 3 things that I really didn't put emphasis on. 1, because I didn't know, and 2, because I felt like, oh, I'm just starting off so small. I don't really need those things. But I think once I am at a place where I have this business idea where I know I'm really gonna pour all of my time and effort into it and I'm more established, that's something that I will definitely prioritize. Running a business on my own was really difficult, but also really, really rewarding. I'm excited to see what I pursue in the future going forward. If you like this video, please let me know in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a like, a comment, if you have a question about the bubble tea business or any sort of business aspect. I even have an old video that I put up not too long ago from my old channel that was a day in the life of running the bubble tea business from home, so you could see that as well. If you have any questions or input, please let me know, and I will absolutely see you in the next video.